right, welcome back everybody. What we're going to be doing now is talking about the coordinate system. So there are two basic coordinate systems that AutoCAD deals with, and I've changed my screen a little bit so that you guys can understand this. I've changed the spacing of my grid. I've added some coordinate points, and usually this X and Y sits down in the bottom left-hand corner. So I just moved it up into the middle here so that I could explain this to you. So the first main coordinate system that AutoCAD uses is known as the World Coordinate System. And if you take a look in the upper right hand corner, there's this little drop down that says WCS, which stands for the World Coordinate System. This is by default AutoCAD. It does not change ever. And you can see that this view cube says that we are looking at the top view, right? So think of this as if you open up a building, you tear off the ceiling, and you're looking down onto the floor. That is the view that we see by default, right? And I'm just going to go ahead and turn this a little bit so you can see. So the World Coordinate System is basically that top-down view. And this view basically resembles a plane. So you can see it sort of disappear. Think of it as a sheet of paper. Right? So think of it as a sheet of paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and hit top again to realign my world coordinate system. This world coordinate system really plays a role when you're working in 3D. In 2D, what we're working in right now, it's not going to really have any effect. So you shouldn't really worry about this view cube or the nav cube up top. The secondary coordinate system is the user coordinate system. And you've heard me refer to this X and Y as the UCS, and that UCS stands for User Coordinate System. So basically the red line is representing the x-axis, the green line is representing the y-axis, and the little square in the center there is representing 0, 0. And essentially what AutoCAD does is say that anything in this quadrant, right, so to the right of the green line and above the red line, that's quadrant 1, and all of those coordinates are going to be positive in the x and positive in the y. And as we move to the left, anything to the left of the green line and above that red line, right, if you were to continue this over, is quadrant 2. And in quadrant 2, all of our coordinates are a negative x value, that's why you see a negative 7, and a positive y value, hence the positive 2. Moving down below that, we are now below the x-axis, and we are also to the left of the y-axis. So any coordinate in quadrant 3, right, this is known as quadrant 3, is going to be a negative x and a negative y. And this is the format that you typically write your coordinates. You would do brackets, your value, comma, value, and then you would close the brackets. When inputting in AutoCAD, you would forget the brackets and just use the values. Moving on to the right from where we just were, this is quadrant 4. So again, quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. So now we are below the x-axis, below that red line, and to the right of the green line or the y-axis. So you can see the coordinate system, or the coordinates here, are going to be a positive x and a negative y value. So when we draw lines, we have to be aware of this coordinate system. And the coordinate systems that we're going to be using are the absolute coordinate system, relative coordinate system, and the polar coordinate system. And we'll talk about those in the next video.